गुड मॉर्निंग मैम. मैम फर्स्टली आई वांट टू आस्क, आपको कैसा लग रहा है? लाइक पिछले 9 इयर्स से आप लोगों ने हमसे क्वेश्चन किया एंड दिस टाइम आज मुझे मौका मिला आपसे क्वेश्चन करने का. सो हाउ आर यू फीलिंग?
I'm feeling very proud that you have become this capable that you can ask us something. It is actually a very proud moment.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so a lot of our viewers don't know much about you. So going there, so ma'am, firstly, can you just answer where are you from and how long have you lived here in Ranchi?
I am from Punjab and I have lived here in Ranchi for more than 30 years. That is actually more than the years that I have lived in Punjab.
Okay.
So now I love this place and I consider this as my home. So actually I love the place.
A specific place where you go to, where you love to eat or go to eat, anything like that?
It's okay. Normally I like the food of Kaveri.
Okay.
Especially dahi puchka, but I have not eaten it for so many days now. I'm missing it.
Okay, this COVID situation has
Yeah.
changed a lot. Okay, so ma'am, getting a bit nostalgic, I wanted to know what was your first job, your very first job?
I joined Guru Nanak School.
Guru Nanak School.
Yeah, back in 91. I started my career from Guru Nanak School.
Okay. Now, what subject did you taught there?
English.
English.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, ma'am, this is a hypothetical situation here, and my question to you is: if you could have dinner with one person, living or dead, who would that person be, and why?
Okay. The person whom I actually admire is Madam Maria Montessori. She was perhaps the first one who understood that teaching is a very scientific thing. When we are teaching children, it is not just by the way job, and we have to treat them as individual entities, and each child is different. So all these experiential learning and differentiated teaching that we are doing today, we are putting into practice all those things which she had done, and that was a time when women were not as educated. She had to struggle a lot. So I admire her a lot. So if I could sit with her for a dinner and maybe we could discuss more about present day education scenario and the education scenario at that time when she propagated all those things.
That's very thoughtful, ma'am. That's very thoughtful. So, ma'am, now moving further, what is the most important life lesson that you think everyone should learn, and how did you learn that lesson?
Actually, life lesson I learnt in my very early years. With that convent school education, it was very rigid kind of education. Like in these public schools, CBSE schools, the scenario is very, relaxed. But then in convent schools, they impose lots of discipline on us. So I remember when I was a small girl, I used to go to a distance of around 20 kilometers away from home. That was the next town actually. We did not have a good school in our town. So one day I was late for the school, and when I entered, a note was written in my diary that you are late, and I had to get it signed from my parent. Now it was that such a difficult situation. I have to go home and I have to tell my father that I was late for the school. I have to get my diary signed from him, and then if I don't get it signed from him, the teacher will scold me next day. So those 3-4 days were actually a great trauma for me, when I kept on postponing, and in the school the teacher would ask me every day that where is the signature. So that was a lesson of my life. Until today, if somebody is late, I still say that please don't put the blame on your education. So I think that was a great lesson of my life. I learned to be on time, and because of the trauma that I faced, that was the lesson. I think I was in 8th or 9th at that time. That was the age.
Talking about your childhood, as you just mentioned, how was you as a child? Like, were you notorious? Were you quiet? Were you proactive? Or what kind of a child?
I was a very naughty child. I was very good at mimicking people. If somebody would come to our home, I would just sit and watch, and the minute that person goes, I start mimicking that person. And second thing, I was a kind of very CBI person. Okay. A detective kind of mind was there, and anybody, if like something is they're not able to find something, they would immediately say, just see where is, my pet name is Peachy they used to call me. देखो ना कहाँ पे है, नहीं मिल रहा है. And immediately I would start putting my mind into, it would become proactive, that where did you last go, where is it? And then I would try to analyze that where does my sister or brother keep his or her things normally, and I would be able to detect it very easily. And that streak is still there in me. People still call me that you are a detective. So that was my childhood. But then I started this habit of reading as a small girl. We started with Enid Blyton, Nancy Drew. As we grew up, the books were also growing up with us, then Mills and Boons, and then all those. So I was always, like I said, we used to go 20 kilometers away from home. Those 20 kilometers I used to spend reading the books. I always had a book with me and I used to read it. Without looking here and there, I was immersed in my book.
Okay. So ma'am, again mentioning your childhood, I just want to ask that what was the first dream you wanted to become? Like people wanted, like I personally wanted to become an astronaut, and some of my friends wanted to become an engineer. Now they are pursuing a very different field from what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your field? What you thought that you wanted
Actually,
to become?
I was always a teacher, basically a teacher. And it was the habit that I had with me. Like in the class, I would sit with anybody and take up the doubts and start teaching. And then at home, my siblings, my younger sister, brother, I would always say, oh, you've not understood that, let me explain. Then I used to have, more of a teacher. My younger sister, I used to say, have you finished your homework? Have you done this? And then as she started growing up, she developed this habit. She would ask me, Didi, may I go out to play? I finished my work. So the teachers, they do. So I took up the role of a teacher long time back. So I was always a teacher.
Okay, so moving further, in your opinion, what are the most common mental and emotional problems children and teachers face nowadays?
See, with this pandemic, the most emotional problem is, of course, connecting with people. Like I am talking to you over here. This is very important. So till now we were doing it very often. We would come to school every day. We would talk to students. Students would talk to us. 100 times we would stop the students in the corridor. Where are you going? Why are you going? Isn't it? So now that we are not able to meet each other more often, we miss that, isn't it? That human touch is very important. But yes, otherwise, a very important thing is the human touch. As I always say that we are teachers, we are not machines. Now, you can learn anything from the machines. You can Google the answers, isn't it? But what the teacher can tell you from his or her experience, how we connect with you, that is very, very important. Understand? And machine will not understand your emotions, but a human being will understand your emotions. If I'm talking to you, I can read behind this facade 101 emotions are there, that how you're feeling at this moment. You are relaxed, you are nervous, you are tittering, you are stammering. That is all from your body language that we make out, which is, yes, emotions are very, very important. And I have always put emotions on the forefront. That means heart is important, more important than the brain.
Yeah, so true. Okay, ma'am. Now, going for a light question, do you have a particular student or a particular memory of a student which you always remember, and then you are like, oh, I miss that moment, I miss that particular moment?
Okay. I have two moments, I'll tell you. So, I had just joined as a teacher. So then it was Teachers' Day, and a very new feeling for me, that children coming on Teachers' Day, bringing cakes, pastries or gifts. So a small child came running to me and he had a small gift in his hand, all wrapped nicely. He said, "Ma'am, kholiye na." I said, "Okay, I'll do it. Wait. No, ma'am, please open it." So I opened it, and then there was a small Taj Mahal in that. And then, that boy was all starry-eyed and he said, "Ma'am, aapke liye Taj Mahal laya hu." That was such a sweet moment, which I've never been able to forget. His name was Ashish Srivastava. I don't know where is he now. Okay. So, and then second moment, I'll tell you, that there was a small child and he came to school, and as soon as he opened his bag, there was a small mole in his bag. And it jumped out of the bag. And all children started screaming, including me. We were afraid. We did not know what to do. So then immediately thought, oh no, I am a teacher. I have to take care. All children are screaming. They are afraid. So I should not be afraid. So immediately I went out, I called somebody to drive away the mole. So yeah, of course, there are of course many more moments which I always remember. The minute that child comes and stands in front of my eyes, I'm immediately reminded of what that child had done at that time. So some of them, their children are studying in our school. So they come and say that, ma'am, you are a grand teacher. You have taught me. I said, yes. And it's a very proud moment for me. And I feel that these are my grandchildren. A few days back, one boy came to school for his child's admission. And he was a boy for me because I've taught him. So he said, ma'am, you remember I was your student? I said, yeah, definitely I remember. Ma'am, see my child. I've come to admit him in the school. I said, okay. I took out a chocolate. I said, you want a chocolate? So he was not coming. I said, okay, don't take it. You are my grandchild. I'll give it to my son. Let my son take the chocolate and the grandchild will look over. Then he said, no, give it to me. So, these are very precious moments. And I really love those moments.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is, during this pandemic time, did you find that you were reminded just how much you love what you do and how much a school filled with noisy students means to you? Or were you struck by how significant we are and what we do in this larger perspective?
Actually, both the things. And yes, we miss the children. When we started coming to school in the month of May, mostly April, it was mostly closed. So when we started coming to school in the month of May, and when we started moving in the corridors and the ground, I used to miss, the children playing, that hustle, bustle, children moving in the corridors, and we telling them not to do this and that. Yes, that was actually a moment when I felt lost. The school without children is like, body without a soul. So that was it. And yes, we also understood that, we are nothing in front of nature. Nature has got its way of telling us that you feel very proud of yourself, that you have made so many inventions, discoveries to make your life comfortable, and you are ruining nature, you are destroying the flora and fauna, and you are not taking care of the animals, you become so selfish. And so I have the way of resetting everything. Let me take over and let me teach you a lesson of your life. That was it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I always also few of my mates texted me to remind you in particular that their Maggie party is still due
We'll
and they want
definitely have
to do
it.
it.
We'll definitely have it. And actually, from this platform, I would also like to say that we are planning to have alumni meet every year. We can have it batch wise, like maybe in the month of, after the pandemic is over, of course, maybe in the month of June, batch so and so can meet. We can all be together in the school and we can have a party. Maybe in the month of July, the next batch, and this way we can have a batch wise party in the school. And yes, that Maggie party is still due and we'll definitely have it. And thank you so much, Ujjwal, for sitting and talking to me like this. I've never been so relaxed in my life and talked, it was like, introspection and retrospection, things which I have not thought over for so long, things which I have just taken for granted, or things which are there in my mind but I have not been able to express it. So at least when you talk to me like this, I could express so many things which I could not have done otherwise. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. It was a pleasure having you here with us.
Okay.